and welcome back to my channel, where today we will be ranking the third Doctor episodes. Now, the way it's going to work is we're going to be using the statistical data. That includes the views, but not the AI scores. This is because the AI scores are not available for all the episodes, some but not all, so we will not include them in this data, as well as the online rankings. Now, a little disclaimer, this is an experiment. This should not be taken as truth. I have taken these numbers and calculated them, and this is what I get. So the way it's going to work is I want to quickly run through 24 through 11, and then I'll talk more about 10 through 1. So if you like videos like this, look at the playlist above. In there is the rankings for the first and second Doctor episodes. Have a quick look, and without further ado, let's get started. The Green Death. Now, this is an episode that I have not seen myself, but the story goes that a man mysteriously dies in South Wales in a mine shaft, where he's found glowing green. Joe Grant finds out about this through a newspaper article and urges the Doctor to go and investigate. The Doctor goes down to South Wales with Unit and finds out that under the mine shaft is a gang of green, like maggot worms, which have a trail that is deadly and poisonous, and when humans come in contact with it, they slowly die. Whilst at this mine place, the Doctor finds a supercomputer called Boss. Now, Boss controls the company and plans to take over the human race with his mind-controlled humans. The story ends basically where the Doctor and the workers find a way to destroy the worms and destroy his boss and save the day. At the end, Joe Grant does go off and get married, which leaves the Doctor on his own, and he ends the episode leaving him in Bessie, driving away. So this episode got 7.8 million views and was ranked 136th on Gizmodo, so it is ranked 10th on this list. Next up, The Demons. This is another episode that I have not seen myself, so we'll quickly go through what it's about. So there's an archaeological dig happening in a town called Devil's End. Underneath this archaeological dig is a spaceship, which is unknown to the villagers. Now, some of the villagers protest against this dig as they think it's going to bring about evil, of which the Doctor agrees. Now, in this village, the Master is disguised as a local vicar. His plan is to conjure up a mythical being called Azal, who he would like to gain power from him. If he brings back Azal, who he asks for his power, and he's not sure whether or not the Master is worthy of his power, so he goes and asks the Doctor, who tells him the Master is not worthy of his power. Because he is unsure of if he can decide or not, he gives the Master time to prove to him whether or not he's worthy of his power. The Master tries to prove his worth, with the Doctor trying to fight against him. In the end, the Doctor manages to defeat Azal so that the Master cannot claim his power, and he runs away. This story got 8.3 million views and was ranked 133rd on Gizmodo, and so is ranked 9th on our list. Day of the Daleks. Now, this is an episode I have seen myself, so I can comment on it a bit. In the stories, a band of rebels from the future called the Guerrillas have come back in time to try and assassinate a British peace diplomat. They're doing this because they believe the events of the story will lead to the almost complete destruction of the Earth by the Daleks. At some point through the story, the Doctor and Jo Grant get captured by the Daleks and are interrogated. Eventually, the Doctor escapes and returns to Earth. He does this so he can ensure the peace conference goes ahead and time is back on track. Now, this story got 9.6 million views and is ranked 123rd on Gizmodo, and therefore is 8th on our list. The Claws of Axos. This is another story that I have seen myself, so I could comment on it if you want me to. So, in this story, aliens called the Axons land on Earth because they need to refuel. They offer Earth with a present called Axonite in turn for some fuel. In reality, Axonite is a substance that drains the life force of a planet, in this case, Earth. Also present in the story is the Master. Once he learns of the Axon's plans, he plans himself to repair and steal the Doctor's TARDIS. The Axons then learn of the Doctor's TARDIS and plan to steal it for themselves, and the Doctor then plans to use both the Axons and the Master to his advantage. The Master goes back and repairs the TARDIS, whilst the Axons prepare to steal the TARDIS, and eventually the Doctor defeats them by trapping the Axons in a perpetual loop. In the end, the Axons are destroyed and the Master again escapes. The story received 7.4 million views and was ranked 115th on Gizmodo and is 7th on our list. Spearhead from Space. Again, this is another story I've seen myself. This is the first story that features Jon Pertwee as the Third Doctor. So, at the start, a meteor crash lands to Earth, and it is discovered to be a plastic polyhedron. This is the life source for an alien being called the Nestine Consciousness. The Nestine has taken over a toy factory and plans to create Autons to take over the world. The Doctor finally wakes up from the hospital after regenerating, and eventually goes and destroys the toy factory and stops the Nestine's plans. This story got 8.2 million views and is ranked 90th on Gizmodo, and is therefore 6th on our list. Carnival of Monsters. Again, another episode I have seen, so I could comment on it if you needed me to. So, in this story, the Doctor plans to land on Metropolis 3, misses, and lands on a ship. They eventually discover they have been trapped inside a miniscope, which is in the possession of some travelling performers. Throughout the story, the Doctor and Jo Grant try to escape from the miniscope, whilst these people, guard-like people, try and destroy the miniscope. The Doctor eventually escapes from the miniscope and continues on his travels. So, not much really to comment on here on this episode, apart from they encounter some Drashigs, which is basically like a lizard snake type creature. So this episode got 9.4 million views and is ranked 78th on Gizmodo and is 5th on our list. Terror of the Autons. Yet again, another story I've seen myself, so I could comment on it if I wanted to. So this is the first appearance of the Master and the second appearance of the Autons. In this story, the Master arrives on Earth and steals the remaining Nessian energy. He then takes over a factory by either killing the workers or hypnotizing them. He plans to use the energy to restore the Autons and take over the world. The Doctor learns of this plan and eventually defeats him. At the end, the Master is seen to be shot by Captain Yates. However, it is revealed the Master was actually, in fact, a worker hypnotized in a mask. The Doctor then reveals that he has stolen the Master's dematerialization circuit, and the Master escapes on a bus. This episode got 8 million views and is ranked 51st on Gizmodo and is therefore 4th on our list. Inferno. Yet another story I have seen myself, so I could comment on it if you want me to. So in the story, the Doctor is sent to a project called Project Inferno, where there has been a murder. There, the Doctor discovers there has been an infection that has sent one of the workers wild and killing some other workers. Whilst at the project, the Doctor decides to experiment with his detached TARDIS and is sent to a parallel world where the unit do not know the Doctor. The Doctor is captured by a unit, where the Doctor tries to persuade unit of who he is, but fails. The Doctor eventually escapes unit and finds a way back to the real world, where he now must try to stop the project, to stop or to prevent further infections from spreading. Eventually, the Doctor does stop the project, does stop the drilling, and the infection ceases. This episode got 5.7 million views and is ranked 40th on Gizmodo and is ranked 3rd on our list. The Time Warrior. Again, another episode I have seen myself, of which I could comment on. In this story, a Sontaran named Lynx crash lands into Middle-Age Earth and uses the locals to fix his ship by offering them magic weapons. Back on present-day Earth, the Doctor and unit discover scientists have been going missing and investigate. During their investigations, the Doctor discovers that an Osmic projector has been used to steal the scientists and bring them back to the past. The Doctor then uses this data to be able to travel back in time to the source of the power. When the Doctor lands in Middle-Age Earth, he discovers that Sarah Jane Smith has tagged along. Whilst there, they both infiltrate the castle that Lynx has been hiding in and eventually defeat him. This episode gained 8.2 million views and is ranked 33rd on Gizmodo and is ranked 2nd on our list. And finally, Doctor Who and the Silurians. In this story, a local nuclear power station has been experiencing some power drains, and the Doctor and unit have been sent down to investigate. When the Doctor arrives, he decides to investigate in the caves below, where he learns there are Silurians awakening from hibernation. He tries to get to the Silurians before the humans to try and make peace. However, the Silurians start to attack the humans and infect them with a virus. The Doctor gets locked in a cage, but is then released when he tries to persuade them to make peace with the humans. However, the humans try to fight back, and the Silurians then try and use the Doctor to fight back against them by forcing him to try and use the nuclear power station to disrupt the Earth's atmosphere to make it uninhabitable for the humans. However, the Doctor decides to overload the nuclear reactor, which then forces the Silurians back into hibernation. This story got 7.7 million views and is ranked 24th on Gizmodo, the highest of all these episodes, and is therefore the first on our list. Well, there you have it. That is the third Doctor episode ranked. If you'd like to see more videos like this, check the playlist above. In there is the first and second Doctor episodes ranked. What are your thoughts? Put them down below in the comments. Let me know what you think. And a little notice, coming soon is a new reaction series, so watch out for that. Well, thank you, and see you next time.